What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Dolphins Daily, your daily dose of Dolphins content with your boy Chris Kane. Let's talk about the Dolphins. We got to win. That's what I can say. And that deep breath is how I felt, especially in the fourth quarter. This was one of those games that you just got to survive in advance. I feel like this is the NCAA tournament. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't teaching tape. This was, you got through the game. Because it started out, this is really the tale of two halves. That's what it was. The first half was dominant-ish, meaning like the scoreboard reflected dominance, but I still think there was some meat left on the bone. And then the second half was, we're kind of coasting. And honestly felt like we were playing down to the competition. And the Saints were playing like, we think we're better than you. It's like Tyler Shutt outplayed Tua. Just, that's it. Tua was awful. We'll get to him later on. But the team was very run dependent, which is what I've been saying, again, for months. But the passing game was just like, what? What are we doing? I don't know. This wasn't, if you had any fantasy guys in this game other than Devon Achane, then I'm sorry for you. Jalen Waddle wasn't a great game. We did have a Darren Waller sighting, though. A couple catches, 47 yards. Always good to see him on the field. I would love to get him more targets, get him more involved in the game because he's impactful. He's impactful. And he may be still on a kind of a snap count because, again, he's been out for like 6 weeks. So I get why he's not getting more, but it just didn't feel like the team was fully engaged. And I guess that's what happens when you play bad teams sometimes, where you feel like I'm much better than you. I can kind of beat you in my B game, maybe my C plus game. And the second, it just kind of felt like we were taking it for granted. Like, oh, okay, they got a field goal. Oh, they got a touchdown, 2-point conversion. Oh, let's go for it on fourth down. Worst case scenario, we can stop them. And then we didn't. It's like, oh, are they going to score? And then they score again. It's like, oh, my God. It's not a pretty situation. And the Washington game was very similar. And I thought you have a whole bye week to look at what happened in the Washington game and then make corrections. I thought we made a lot of tactical errors, a lot of game management errors. We would have did a bunch of fourth downs against Washington that didn't work out. We had a giant fourth down in this game that did not work out. But I told y'all, like I said then, I'm gonna say it now. I am a fan of being aggressive. I do think there's a time and a place. I don't know if today's game is time and a place. I think goal line, unless you're down by 3 with a game on the line, it's generally the time and the place because if you don't get it, you're forcing another team to go. If they need a touchdown, 95 plus yards. If they need a field goal, still strong 50, maybe 60. I think, yeah, at this point, 60 yards. If your defense can't stop them from going 60 yards to get a field goal, then what's your defense doing? But when you're leading and you're in minus territory, if you miss it, you give them a short field to go take it. This may have been a little too risky for this felt very Dan Campbell-ish to me, and I hope Coach McDaniel is not making more aggressive calls to try to be more like a Dan Campbell, a Shanahan, and those guys. To beat those guys, I got to be a little bit more. I hope they're a little bit more calculated, but that's fine. We got to talk about that unreasonable onside kick. I think they said the percentage was 7%. Of people recover onside kicks. It basically doesn't happen in the league anymore because all the teams know what to do. When it's an onside kick, you go destroy those gunner level guys, and the guy on the back end, who's usually a receiver, sometimes a running back, whoever it is, they attack the ball. The ball either squibs and they just kind of muffle it, they just dive on top of it, or it bounces in the air and they go up and high point it, get down, don't get blown up. We all know it. We've all seen it. That's the way. Cooper Kupp one time just swatted it out of bounds on some just gangster time, which I love because Cooper Kupp was in his Batman era back then. But I don't know what happened. It's no one thought to attack the ball, and I didn't see the ball get touched personally. I know I'm a fan. Maybe I'm biased, whatever. I mean, they zoomed in with the highest resolution camera I've ever seen in my life, and it let the ball went past. I didn't see a change of revolution, whatever. But the fact that we gave that onside kick up means we gave up a chance to possibly lose the game to a team that I've said again, I think they're worse than Tennessee. I think the Saints are the worst team in the league. That's what I've been saying all year. But We survived, 5-7. You just keep moving on. Now, we do have to give some love to a couple people who showed up. Devon Achane shined, as he's been doing all year. Love seeing it. He seems like he's really coming into his own. He also crossed 1,000 yards today for the first time in his career, which is awesome. He actually crossed what he had all of last year. He halfway through the game, he had already crossed last year's total. So he's already over 1,000 yards. Y'all know I wanted him to get like 1,500 yards rushing and 10 to 12 touchdowns, like some just outrageous numbers. And a lot of people pushed back, like, he's not going to run for that many yards. And I was like, it's unlikely, but it would be like 75, 80 yards a game. Like, could he do that? Conceivably. And I knew there would be some games that he would have like 50 yards, but I thought it would be games we have like 150 because he's one missed tackle away from house calling it. We've seen it all year. In this game, he had another long touchdown. 22 carries, like 134 yards, I think. I may be getting a number wrong. But he was the workhorse, as he should be. We had 34 carries as a team today. That's right with the number I wanted to be. I think over 30 carries is a good number for us. But he is the most sudden guy we have. I don't know how he finds these lanes to run. Like, he'll get the ball and just kind of like sliver a little bit. And then once he starts going, he be cooking. And I love seeing him. And it seems like Coach McDaniel, early in his coaching tenure, his whole game plan was, how do I get the most out of Tua? That was the whole offense. Tyreek, Jalen, y'all do what y'all do. Tua, point guard to get them the ball. And the running game was very much an afterthought. We were the worst team at 3rd and short, 4th and short. We drafted Ollie Gordon to help with that. But now it seems like the offense is, let's feed Devon Achane as much as possible and then find ways to throw off of it, which I think is a more sustainable method because he is our best player on offense. Even if Tyreek comes back tomorrow, Devon Achane is our most consistent and our best player on offense. He's a really good receiver. He's obviously a great running back. And our offensive line can move forward instead of going back, which they're much better at doing. He should be the future person going forward, right? I think that's, and maybe it took Coach McDaniel a couple years to figure out, maybe featuring a 5'10 receiver is not as good as featuring my 5'9 running back. Because, one, you can milk the clock. The defense could be, healthier. But also, Devon, like, running games get stronger as the game goes on. Guys don't want to tackle. So Devon in the first half sometimes could have, 12 carries, 47 yards or something. Like, you're like, all right, that's kind of like whatever. He's on pace for, a little bit less than 100. And then it's that one time where the linebacker can't quite scrape over. He can't quite get to him where a lane opens up. And he's looking for lanes. He's switching lanes. He's on I-95. He's going. And that's where the running game works because it just beats you down. And the minute you commit more people, the play action opens up. Tua needs all the protection he can get, so running the ball helps him on that end as well. It just seems like this is the best formula. I want him to get 1,500 yards. He basically needs to average, 110 a game for the next, for the rest of the – I don't know. Could he do it? Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, Cincy's not that great. Pittsburgh's run defense waxes and wanes. They got pushed around today by Buffalo. So their defense is like this. When we play him, then yeah, he can go for 200. Like he's faster than James Cook. But in the Patriots end of the year, I assume have backups in. So I think it's totally on the table. He gets 1,500 yards this year. Now he will have the ball. It's if he gets his 20 carries. He's got to get 20 carries a game. I just think he needs the repetition because there are some 1-yard carry, 2-yard carries in there. But he's awesome. And I think shining like this puts him squarely in the Pro Bowl contention. Again, it's going to be him and James Cook going at their position, it looks like. But I think he played really awesome. He's been our most consistent best player. Shout out to you. Even in the game that's, whatever. Devon, balled out. Shout out to you. Also, Minkah Fitzpatrick, who y'all know I like. I've always liked him. Another Alabama guy. His pick 2, which is what happens on a 2-point conversion. If you return a 2-point conversion, you get 2 points. His pick 2 changed the whole game because we didn't know the onside kick was going to happen. It just seemed like maybe a point spread thing. I did not look at the line before the game. I know Miami was favored, but I don't know about how many. They were favored by 3.5, and he does that return. Then obviously, Vegas people are like, woo! Because a 2-point win would have been devastating. But by him getting that pick 2, when the Saints unreasonably recovered the onside kick, they had to score a touchdown. Because if you recover an onside kick, you're already in the NFL now 15, yards away from a field goal attempt. I mean, it doesn't take much. Especially with that much time left too, like over a minute left, need to get 15 yards to do 4 downs. That's nothing now. So him making that play changed really the ending of the game, because had we not done that, I think the Saints would at least attempted a field goal to win the game, and what a devastating loss that would have been. I've been very critical of Minkah because I like Minkah because Minkah's a playmaking secondary person. It's the reason why Patrick Surtain is my favorite corner in the league, because when the ball is near him, he makes plays. I like Darius Stingley. He makes plays. Not the biggest Sauce guy, because I don't think Sauce makes plays anymore, but that's neither here nor there. Minkah Fitzpatrick, early in his career, was flying around, big hitting, picking the ball, punching balls out. Like he's a playmaker. He isn't a guy that just plays safety. He's a guy that's an impactful safety. And since he's been with the Dolphins the second time around, I haven't seen the plays. I've seen the guy roaming. He's on the field. I see him kind of in position sometimes, but not like making a play. We've seen Jack Jones make a play. Rasul Douglas had a great play in this game. He's not featured on today's episode, but shout out to you for a big pick. He should have scored. It's a good pick, Rasul, but you should have scored. What are you doing? Not important. But Minkah, who's our highest paid secondary person, and we brought him back. He wants a contract extension, which, again, I have no issue with an extension given his age and how good I think he can be. But there are a lot of people when we picked him up saying he may have lost a step. And I was like, nah, Pittsburgh's kind of a weird team. And then most of this year, I was like, he may have lost a step. But if he can play like today, high leverage moments, big time parts of the game, make a play like this, and then be solid the rest of the time. Make a play when there's a play to be made, and then just be solid the rest of the time. Give him the money. I'm good with it. But had he not made that play, had he just swatted the ball down, I like the Saints going to win this game. And my forecast for the game was that we were going to win by 10-14. And if the Saints had won this game, I would have maybe not even taped an episode. I would just bailed. Like, you know what, guys? Any given Sunday, Carolina beat the Rams today, who I thought were the best team in the league. Life happens. What are you going to do? So, shout out to Minkah. Shout out to Devon. They both were great. Someone who wasn't great, unfortunately, was Tua, who just once again, just a befuddling performance. Like almost 50% completion, pick, no touchdowns, 157 yards. I mean, it really was. It almost felt like the team was nursing him. You know how sometimes you have a young quarterback and you have to bring him along by running the ball, playing good defense. You try to not put the young quarterback in a position to lose the game for you. So it's like, hey, run the ball first, second down. Hopefully it's like 3rd and 4-ish. We can get a little curl route, a little pass to the flat, and we just keep the drive going. Like, that's how teams manage young players, like Ben Roethlisberger when he first got with Pittsburgh. It feels like the offense now is like, how do we manage Tua? Like, high leverage moments, can we move the ball without putting the ball in his hand? And once he throws a pick, I don't know, like something happens in his brain where I think he just his gusto goes away. I think he doesn't want to make mistakes, and Tua will tell you, hey, I got a family, I'm not worried about what people say about my gameplay. You lead the league in picks. Now you're tied with Geno, if that makes you feel any better, but they shouldn't. The Raiders are terrible, and Geno. Now I would say a lot of Geno's picks are his fault, actually, but I think almost all of Tua's picks are his fault. So you're tied for the league in picks. That can't be the case this long into his career. And it brings up the question again, what is Miami going to do in the offseason? Because we've been winning games, right? We were 1-6 at one point, and now we're 5-7. And it's like, hey, we could end up over 5. I said if we go 5-1 down the stretch, we go over 500. That's very much on the table. Right now, we're 1-0 in that. Play the Jets next week. We'll see. But what Tua's doing out there looks like, I can't say he doesn't want to be out there. That's the wrong way to say it. It looks like the belief in the team in him looks low, but the team is performing well. So I know it's not like all on him thing. I'm thinking like an A.J. Brown with the Eagles situation where Philly was in the first place in the conference, first place in the division, but he wasn't getting the ball, so he was mad. But it was like, but we're winning, so should I be mad to upset the apple cart? The team is winning, but Tua's playing poorly. But we know to win late in the year, Tua has to play better. He can't do this against Cincy, Pittsburgh, Tampa, or New England. Like that can't be. We're going to lose by double digits. You can't play like this. And he wasn't good against Washington either. So now it's back-to-back games of, hey, man, like, what's going on? We thought you had kind of turned the corner a little bit, and now we're on a different street. Like, we turned the corner and we turned again. I was like, well, I don't know what street this is. It's not even a confidence thing. It just seems like he's not always seeing the field well, or the ball's not. I think I do think Tua is afraid to be hit. He got sacked 4 times today. And this is the most he's been sacked in a little bit. And it looked like a couple times he didn't get sacked. There was a lot of him moving forward and back in the pocket and doing a dancing around thing. And we know Tua can't dance. Big facts. Tua can't dance, and Tua doesn't want to get hit. And I think once he's got hit that second time, that clock in his head, I think, is going like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4. But I think it's going so fast that he's like, everything's hurried. And so I think a lot of his picks has been him hurrying, trying to make a read that isn't there, or throwing the ball a step earlier than he needs to, or second earlier than he needs to, because he doesn't want to stand there and get hit. And he got pushed around a little bit to the O-line, and pass protection was not good today. Patrick Paul played an awful game. We'll talk about him more tomorrow, because I've been hyping him up for the last, month. I did my whole let's get Patrick Paul in the Pro Bowl, and then he played his worst game of the year. So it's like, wrong there. But I don't know, this was an unacceptable performance from Tua. The team won the game despite him, and we play the Jets next week. And we can possibly beat the Jets without Tua playing great. But at some point, he's got to play better. I don't know what we do. Again, we owe him a bunch of money. Next year is, no matter how you do it, unless you can actually trade him directly, we're going to owe him all in about $99 million. There's not a way to just like eat that cost realistically. So it's like, are we going to just be destined to this all of next year again? It's a lot for this episode. We'll discuss it more throughout the week, but this was a bad performance by Tua. Shout out to Devon and Minkah. And Riley also played a great game. But Tua, terrible. And y'all saw it. You saw it. You felt it. I'm sure my comments will be flooded with, enough of this. Let's just move on. But as always, y'all, thank you for tuning in to Dolphins Daily. We appreciate the love and support. Thank y'all for the likes and the subscribes. We'll see you next time on Dolphins Daily. Peace.